This year's Lavecon is going on right now. It's virtual again. We have in the show notes a what do you call it? Link to the PDF that has the full schedule and all of the stuff. I am posting it right now live for you people in the chat. I think we put on a pretty damn good show, but I'm just a drunk asshole. So if you want to stop what you're doing and go watch their show because it's live and whatever, I'm not going to blame you, man. It is what it is. You do you. It's all good. Love Lavecon. Love the boys at Lave. So check it out. There's stuff going on all weekend. So, tomorrow, the next day, etc. And we also have, as part of this, an event going on right now from the Buckyball Racers. I sat down with Alex Turner and we had a little chat about it, so check it out. Hello, hello. So I am here live on a pre-record with Commander Alec Turner of the Buckyball Race Club, who's going to walk us through the event that is starting right now as you hear this, the Buckyball, what is it, the Lave Lockdown Challenge.
Lavecon Lockdown Challenge.
Yes,
Hey,
yes. Yes, so Alec, tell us a little bit about this race. Obviously, it's set up to celebrate, LaveCon itself.
Yeah,
Tell us a
yeah,
little bit about how you came up with this race and a little bit about what the race is.
sure. So yeah, it's when we go to Lavecon for real, they have a nice LAN room, and what we normally do is take a PC and we have a race that runs over the weekend, and people can come down from the bar and have a quick go, and we kind of keep a physical scoreboard. And so this is kind of a replacement for that. Obviously, Lavecon's not happening for real, so they've gone virtual. So it seemed nice to do a classic buckyball time trial. And we're going to let it run for a week rather than just for the weekend, so we give people a bit more time to do it. So this one, actually, what it is, some people might remember that on a Frontier live stream last year, we did a little race where they did a triathlon. I think it was for one of their big charity live streams. So the idea of that race was that you would start in your ship parked 5 kilometers away from one of the big circular planetary ports, and then on go you have to drive the SRV to the planetary port, drive in through the tunnel, one of those two entrance tunnels that they have, get to a garage, get back in your ship. The ship being a keelback, so it's got a ship launch fighter. You take off in the ship. You have to get to an altitude and distance where you can deploy the fighter. Then you fly the fighter in through one of the tunnels and out through the other tunnel and across the city in between. Then you rejoin your ship, dock back in the ship, and then you have to fly the ship in through a tunnel and out through a tunnel, and then you land. So the time of the race is from when you start rolling in the SRV to when you land the ship. So it's basically a rerun of that, which we never did as a proper time trial that everyone could take part in. But obviously, this is our first big race in Odyssey. So I wanted to feature Odyssey as well. So for Odyssey, it's taking place at a planetary port on an atmospheric planet. So it's a beautiful place. It's perma day, so whenever you go, it's going to look spectacular. And we this actually came. I mean, it was kind of an idea in my mind, but it actually came from Zach, the Frontier mod Zach, who sort of said, "Oh, it's got to have some legs in it, surely." So we've tacked on for the Odyssey version a sort of Le Mans style running start. So what you do is you basically park your SRV 200 meters from your ship, and then you start in the ship, and on go you have to get out the ship and run to the SRV. And then it's basically the cycle I said. So you run to the SRV, get in the SRV, drive to the city, and then go through the tunnels in the ship launch fighter and go through the tunnels in the keelback.
Right
Nice and
on.
quick. Takes about 9-10 minutes, so people have got can have loads of goes at it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And they have all week, as you said, to do it, so it'll be a good thing to keep up as it goes.
Yeah, we'll do a scoreboard, which I'll sort of maintain. So in fact, I've just remembered I haven't done it yet. I need to link a Google form But basically, you take 6 screenshots. You take a screenshot at the is it 6, 7? Screenshot at the start, just showing that you're parked the right distance from the ship, and then that has your start time. And then there's a screenshot of the SRV going through a tunnel. 2 screenshots of the ship launch fighter going in and out through tunnels. 2 screenshots of keelback going in and out through tunnels, and a screenshot when you've landed. So a neat little set of 7 screenshots to prove you sort of. It's not. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but when we do these screenshots, we're not looking to catch cheats. We don't get any cheats. Nobody's ever tried to cheat. Why would you really? There's no great prizes for it. It's to catch accidents. People misread the rules and they only go through one tunnel, and there's a genuine mistake, and they post a time that beats everyone else's time. It's just to double check that you followed the rules, really.
Yeah, no, you guys have a great sort of esprit de corps amongst the group where, I like, as you said, there's just no point to cheating. You're just robbing yourself of the
Yeah, no.
experience.
Yeah. So the screenshots are just that. It's just to catch honest mistakes that you went the wrong way or something.
And let's talk about sort of the why of it all. Why, we interviewed you last year with the what was it? It was like the Lavecon rushed race or whatever, where it was sort of a last minute thing that was put together, and we did an
Yep.
interview to kind of promote it or whatever. But yet
Yeah, it's
again,
been a while.
another lockdown Lave, and yet again the Buckyball Race Club coming through with an inspirational sort of joyous celebration of the
Yeah,
good
I
things in
mean the
Elite.
why up front, the sort of obvious reason is to have something for Lavecon. I really feel for those guys. They put a huge amount of effort into planning a live event. They got sound systems, and and all of that goes out the window. And so they're trying their best to make something good of this weekend, to put on virtual events and sort of virtual panels and things. So it's only right that we should do something like this to try and support that. But I think more so in the current climate with Elite, with the Odyssey launch not going well, and I think there's obviously an awful lot of negativity around. I just wanted to put something positive out there, and I'm not the only one. There are expeditions and things happening, and I think we need sort of. It's a shame to say it, but I think we need the community now more than ever, just to remind people that there's great stuff in this game, and it hasn't gone away, and it's still happening. And
Mm.
so, yeah, on the small scale, it was to support Lavecon, but on a bigger scale, I want to give the whole community something fun to do, and this is fun. I was listening to your show last week; it was great with Katie Byrne,
Mm-hmm.
um, and her sort of, really enthusiastic, encouraging people to give Thargoid combat a go, and I really must. That was very persuasive, and I kind of just want to really encourage people to give this a go. If you're frustrated with Odyssey and you're sick of grinding the mats, and the race takes 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a sort of practice run of 8 minutes and something this morning. You can easily do it in 10, 11 minutes. It's not long, and I think people might go, "Oh, it doesn't seem that interesting to me," but if you do it, I think you'll do a run and you will think that was pretty fun, actually. It uses, it really tests a lot of your elite skills. There's a bit of SRV driving. There's things like not fumbling the controls when you're trying to deploy the ship launch fighter. There's trying to squeeze a keel back through those tunnels, which isn't an easy fit. And people will make a mistake. They'll get the keel back jammed, or they'll spend 5 minutes going round and round the city trying to find the tunnels. And they'll think, well, I could do that better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I'm hoping is that if people give it one go, a few people will get hooked and see that it's actually a huge amount of fun.
I think a lot of times the best parts of Elite to me, when I think about the best moments that I've had in Elite, they boil down to having a couple of factors that seem to be in common. First is, big milestones of like, I achieved this, I bought this fleet carrier, I did this thing, whatever. So big stuff like that. The second is things that engender camaraderie, like when you're laughing with friends and doing silly shit and just but like the togetherness of it. And
Yep.
three is things where it's not so much a matter of like pass fail, like I screwed that up, shit, I got to restart, whatever, as much as like things where you're sort of how do I say it? You're competing against yourself. You're just trying to just
Learning a
do a little
learning a
better.
skill. Look, it's exactly what Katie Byrne was getting at. I think learning a skill, self-improvement, is fun. It's really fun. You know, when you start to get good at something and you achieve something, that's way better than any credits or any dump of maps. That's like, hey, I got good at something.
Hmm. And I think so. So I mean, this doesn't have that sort of the okay, I bought a fleet carrier, but the other two aspects, the other two things of what makes it great is the stuff that you do sort of with friends or with camaraderie and fun and whatever, and that's the whole spirit of the buckyballers. And then two, the you know competing against yourself, trying to sharpen your skills or whatever, are amazing. I think it's easy in times that are frustrating to overlook the fact that Elite Dangerous is an amazing canvas that you can paint on in the aspects of the flight model of the ships and the SLFs both, the
Yeah.
driving model of the vehicles, the SRVs, and sort of this allows you because this is not World of Warcraft where like, oh, I leveled up and I got this new sword and now I just hit the button to swing, and because
Yeah.
I have this
You,
new sword that's plus 20 points, now my swing does better. Like, no, there's none of that. It's just you and the car and just you and the ship. And it's
yeah.
you don't get better by getting a piece of gear that makes you better. You get
There's a
better
couple of
by
things I want
just
to say
doing
actually.
better. Go
Yeah, you
ahead.
just reminded me of two things actually. One is the running part
Mhm.
for running has been difficult. I've wanted to do races on running, but to some extent, on the surface, it might seem like it's just a competition of who can hold down W. I will say that there is more to the running stage than just holding down W. There is a little trick
Mm.
um, which people may find,
Mhm.
which will help you do the running bit faster.
Let me
So
ask you
there's
a question on
so
that real
there's
quick.
that. Yeah,
Let me
yeah, go on.
before we get
Yeah.
sidetracked. Are there any regulations to any engineering whatever that you can have on your suit with regard to that?
No, I couldn't be bothered for this one.
Okay.
You know, we sometimes do a regulation class and we prescribe. So, you know, I could have prescribed the exact loadout for the keel back and what engineering you can have for the keel back and what the ship launch fighter is and what suit. I can't be asked.
Okay.
Turn up in whatever you want. If you want to soup up your keel back. The thing is with this particular race, there's a lot of skill in it, you know, not getting wedged in the tunnel,
Mhm.
flying smoothly through I think a fairly large extent, the skill will outweigh anything you can do with engineering. So yeah, knock yourself out, whatever you want to turn up in. Let's keep it simple.
Beautiful. And along the lines of you were saying like, hey, this is a fun thing, and at the non-virtual Lavecons, at the physical Lavecons,
Mm,
you've had it to where people can kind of go down, oh, have a few drinks, and go down and like take your turn behind the wheel. And I'm sure
yep,
probably there's a small crowd, your friends, talking shit and watching you and laughing and whatever. Oh, I'm next. Have
yep.
you thought about for not only just like something like this Lavecon, I think it would be perfect, but also just for other buckyball race events? So many people now have, OBS or whatever that they can record. Have you thought about like putting up on a YouTube channel or somewhere on a stream or whatever, just clip together a whole bunch of videos and let it run, and people can laugh and like they can literally narrate their own race. They can be like, oh, this was
Interesting.
the
I
part
mean,
where I screwed up here, this is where I did that, and just
yeah.
have a laugh, just have some fun.
There's the forum thread, and I totally encourage people to just chip in on that forum thread. You know, if you had a go and you blew up, send us a photo. You know, post a photograph of yourself exploding. If you've got a good clip, stick it on YouTube and link it to the forum thread. That's what the forum thread's for. You know, post number one is there for the rules. The rest of that forum thread, knock yourselves out. Come and chat. Come and ask somebody how they did something. Um, so yeah, it's kind of that. I kind of hope that people will do that. And certainly, if I get a lot of good, you know, if I get funny screenshots as part of people's submissions, or if people send me videos
Hmm.
and there are good clips, then yeah, I'll edit those and put those in the forum thread as well. But that's kind of what the forum thread's for, really.
Right on.
Um, Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was just before people think this is Odyssey only, it's absolutely not. It's Horizons as well. So it's a beautiful city in Odyssey. Like I say, it's atmospheric. It's actually Commander Reen's personal city. It's called the Reen Haven.
Mm.
So it's a great place. But the race runs in Horizons as well. So if you're having a hard time with Odyssey, if you're, just performance, if you're getting terrible frame rates and you're not having fun, if you go and try this race and with the best will in the world and you're just not having fun, don't get pissed off. Just switch to Horizons and do it in Horizons as well. I think I reckon at least 50% of the people will do Horizons. And what we'll do is we'll have two scoreboards because they won't be comparable times. What with the running start and things, so there'll be two
Mm-hmm.
scoreboards. So we'll have winners for Odyssey and we'll have winners for Horizons.
Beautiful. Well, I think that covers just about everything. Do you have anything else you want to add in?
Don't think so. I've got a tiny URL for the forum thread
Oh,
just
for
so
sure,
people
we'll have
listening
it.
to it. I mean, I'm sure you'll post a link, but if
Mm-hmm.
people want it, the tiny URL is so it's BBRC TLLC. So it's Buckyball Racing Club the Lavecon Lockdown Challenge. So BBRC TLLC.
And just to clarify, because you have to these days, it's tinyurl.com/BBRC
Double L.
TLLC.
I'm sure people will find it. There's a forum thread. It's in the event section of the forum. You'll link it in your show.
It is in the show notes to the video that you're watching right now. Beautiful.
Cool.
All right. Well, Alec, it was great as always to have you on, and we look forward to continuing to cover awesome events of the Buckyball Race Club. Thank you so much. That was my interview with Alec Turner about the race. That race is literally starting now, because right now in ye olde England, it's already past midnight, so it's Saturday, so the race is on. Does anybody, you guys, do you have anything to add on the race thing, man? It's good stuff, or on the Lavecon?
I'm gonna check it out. I think it's great.
Hell
Great
yeah.
activity.
Hell yeah, link is in the show notes. Good, and I linked it also in the streams and whatnot.